The sun is not even up yet here at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, but we are on a mission because ever since Guardians of the Galaxy came off of that virtual queue, people have been asking, if you come in through the International Gateway where the Skyliner and the Epcot resorts are, does it still make sense to go all the way to the front of the park for early entry and start your day with Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, in today's video, we're gonna find out. Hi, ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. The Skyliner is not even open yet, but we're here really early just because we wanted to be the first on the Skyliner so we could be among the first to get to Epcot in that front row of people into early entry to find out if you make a mad dash, and we're not going to run, but we're going to walk briskly to World Discovery and hop in line for Guardians of the Galaxy as your first attraction of the day. Can that still make sense? Even though there's going to be a ton of people coming in from the front of the park and they're all going to be heading to that same attraction. Now, those folks are definitely getting there before we will. That's for sure. But we were actually there yesterday making an early entry video from the front of the park. We'll put a link to that in the description down below if you want to check it out. But we did find that at least yesterday, the line didn't seem to get too crazy long too quickly. So I do think it's possible that this strategy could actually work out. Now, to make this a proper test, we have got the other half of Ear Scouts, Eric, here with us. Eric is going to do a more traditional strategy. He's going to start with Remy, which is right there at the International Gateway. It's the logical choice for where you should start your day when you're doing early entry from this back side. We're going to try to get 3 rides done this morning. We're going to do Remy, Guardians, and Test Track. And we're going to see who can get those 3 rides done the quickest. And who knows, maybe it's going to be me, but if I were going to bet money on this, I would say the smart money is on Eric this morning, but we're going to find out. If you're new to early entry, this is a benefit you get when you stay at Disney Resort hotels and select partner hotels. We're going to throw the list up on the screen right now. If you're staying at any one of these hotels, you can enter into Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, or Animal Kingdom 30 minutes before regular park opening time. Now, of course, there's a lot of people staying in all those different resorts, and they all want to be at the front of those early entry lines, or at least a lot of them do. Some of them are just enjoying sleeping in for the morning, but for those of us who want to get as much done in our park day, we're going to be trying to get on the front of those lines. So the question is, how early should you be at your form of transportation? Well, here at the Skyliner, officially, it's going to start running an hour before early entry begins. So today the park opens at 9, early entry's at 8:30, and then that means the Skyliner is going to start at 7:30. I have found, however, that the Skyliner will often open a little bit early if they're able. Now, they're not always able, so you can't count on that. But it is good to be here earlier just in case it gets going a little bit earlier. I was aiming to be the very first person in the Skyliner line. I was kind of crazy this morning. I actually got here about 45 minutes before it was scheduled to start. So I was here at 6:45. That was probably overkill. But shortly after I got here, though, some other folks started showing up. And right now, we're about 30 minutes before the official opening time for Skyliner, and there's a pretty decent little crew of people here. Now, if you're coming in through the International Gateway like we are here, you're not going to be able to take a bus. Buses are all going to take you up to the front of the park. If you want to go through International Gateway, you either need to use a boat, which is accessible from the different Epcot area resorts. In addition, there's a walking path that'll bring you from Hollywood Studios to those Epcot area resorts. For us, of course, we're going to be using the Skyliner, and this would be the method you'd use if you're staying at Caribbean Beach, Art of Animation, or Pop Century. Those are your Skyliner resorts that'll take you over to Epcot. Another thing I'm going to be really interested to see this morning is how the new early entry procedures work from the back of the park. So when we filmed our video yesterday, we noticed that they're no longer corralling people before they let everyone go to their first ride of the day right at the beginning of early entry. There was a little bit of a corral when they weren't ready to let everyone in, but Once they were ready to let folks into the park ahead of early entry, you were allowed to go straight to your first attraction and just get in line. There wasn't a corral point. Now, typically, when you come in from the back of the park, there would have been 2 corral points set up, one heading into France to go to Remy, and the other heading towards the UK if you wanted to go to Frozen or anything at the front of the park. So I'm guessing those corrals are not going to be in place at the back of the park. It's probably going to mirror what they're doing up front. So probably as soon as they start tapping us in and checking that we're qualified for early entry, we're going to be able to go straight to our first ride of the day. But there's only one way to find out. The Skyliner is going to be opening up shortly, and then we're going to make our way over to Epcot. We tapped in right at 7:45 a.m. and that was about as early as it was possible to get here using the Skyliner, but there was already a little crowd of people here when we came in. That's likely because they're staying here at these Epcot area resorts, so they can just walk over whenever they please. As soon as we arrived though, they were already tapping folks into the park, and they're basically just gonna hold everyone right here in this area before you officially enter into World Showcase. As you come up, you will see 2 different lines forming. My guess, because they have just changed these procedures, so I'm not 100% sure, but my guess is if you line up on that side towards France, you're gonna be heading in that direction to start your day, most likely with Remy. And if you line up on this side, you're going to be going into the UK, and you're going to start your day either with Frozen or like we're going to do up front at World Discovery with Guardians or Test Track. This is the line that you're going to need to stand in so that they can check and make sure that you have access to early entry. Only one person from your group typically needs to show either their magic band or their key to the world card, whatever it is that you use to tap into the park. As long as your group is all together, only one person needs to tap, and they can see your reservation and they can see how many people are in your party. So not everyone has to tap, 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 tap. We're about 45 minutes away from early entry time officially starting, so we're gonna wait for 45 minutes here. We already waited over at the Skyliner, and I know what a lot of you are thinking, like, Rob, you're not actually saving any time. Yes, you're gonna have a very short wait for that first ride once you get in, but you've been waiting a whole long time to get there. This is true. You're not saving wait time, but what you are saving is park time. And that's pretty much the most valuable thing that you have when you're on a Disney World vacation typically. There's only so many park hours in a day, and there's only so many attractions you can fit into that time. So by moving that wait time ahead of your park time, to doing that before the park even opens, it means that you're going to be able to ride potentially 1, 2, maybe even 3 more attractions in your day, depending on what those attractions are. So a little bit before 8 o'clock, they let us all just kind of move right up to the line where you enter into World Showcase. And both of these lines that were very kind of singular in form have kind of turned into a big mass. But I'm guessing in just a little bit, they're going to let us head off to our first attraction just to get in line. Obviously, the attraction won't start running until early entry begins at 8:30 this morning. If I had to guess, I would say they're trying to time it so that we enter at the same time as the folks at the front of the park, just to give everyone a fair shot at that first ride of the day. Well, that was a very brisk walk from the back of the park. I don't think I've ever made it that quickly from International Gateway up here to Guardians of the Galaxy. We made very good time. But It is important to note you are not allowed to run in Walt Disney World. This is not Black Friday at Walmart. You don't want to stampede in running. I think the cast member, as we were coming in, put it best. He said, walk with purpose, my friends. Walk with purpose, but no running. There will be cast members along the way to make sure that no one's running, so everyone's staying safe. Trust me, you don't want to start your day at Epcot with a banged up knee or an ankle that's going to hurt you for the rest of your trip. So walk with purpose instead. It's really difficult for me to compare where we are in line with yesterday, unfortunately, because today they've got that extended back area of the queue set up. So yesterday, that back area wasn't open, and we were a little bit further up than we are right now, but again, there's more people filling in that back area that weren't there. That said, I don't think we're that far back compared to yesterday, and I was thinking that this was not going to be a good idea to come all the way up here, and it may still turn out that way. Eric may still win this, but I'm feeling a little bit better about this plan than I was initially.
So it's 8 in the morning. We just made it like all the way like to the first part of the building. Actually, it's not as busy as I was expecting for it to be. So we got a very good spot in the line. We basically have like around 60 people in front of us. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the best route for you to start. And again, this time we have to beat Rob.
It's 8:25 and we are starting to head inside the show building. We are now at the beginning of the pre-show, which means I have a pretty accurate difference in time versus coming in from the back and the front. Yesterday, we got stopped at that room at 8:34. Today, it was 8:41, so 7 minutes when we came in from the front versus the back. I would say that's really not a huge difference, and if you really want to start your day with Guardians, it's looking like it might make sense to do that, even if you're coming in from International Gateway.
It's 8:36 and we're finally moving. It is 8:49 and we just finished riding Remy's. So now we're heading towards the front of the park so we can ride Guardians. It might take us up to 8 minutes for us to get there. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it before early entry officially finishes.
So right now, we're literally just a few minutes behind where we were yesterday. We really kind of made up some time because when we got out of that pre-show, we were very quick to board. Unfortunately, though, the park is now open. So we just hit regular park open time. So there's gonna be a flood of people coming in. That was probably gonna be our only super short wait of the day. Only one way to find out though. Let's head on over to Test Track. Well, we are clearly way further back than we were yesterday. Way further back. This is really a perfect example of the magic of early entry. So yesterday, even though this ride had a really late start and things were backed up, because we got in this line before early entry had begun, we were already inside the show building when we started. Now that we're here a little bit later, I mean, really the park just opened a few minutes ago, but in that amount of time, the queue is already backed up. The full outside queue is full. We're in the overflow of the overflow. It's got a posted 60-minute wait. That seems actually probably pretty accurate. Things did move pretty quickly yesterday, but still, it just shows you this is why you want to get up early and do early entry if you have that benefit, because if you didn't have that benefit, this would be your very first wait of the day. But right now, I think we should go check in with Eric and see how he's doing on his side of this adventure. I should mention that both this attraction and Remy have single rider lines. These are both great single rider options because the vehicles hold 6 people. When you've got a vehicle that only holds 2 to a row, that's a terrible single rider option. There's not going to be many places that need to be filled in. But when you've got a vehicle of 6, they take a lot of people from that single rider line pretty steadily. So this one and Remy are good single rider options to consider. We've just made it into the show building now, so we have a pretty good gauge on where we are versus yesterday. We're about 22 minutes behind where we were at this moment. What I am not looking forward to, though, is the crowd at Remy after we get off this ride, because that line is just going to keep getting longer and longer. Well, they have made the dreaded announcement that we're experiencing some delays, so our wait time may be longer than anticipated. I think the ace up our sleeve, though, is that no matter how long this gets delayed for us, it's also going to mean that much of a delay for Eric, because he still has to ride this one. This really might end up being a little bit of a nail biter. I'm not sure which one of us is going to win this. It is 10:30. We have one final ride, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's got a posted 35-minute wait. I am really hoping that that wait stays that low until we can get over there. Whew. This is definitely a slower walk back than it was over this morning. I am exhausted. This is no way to spend your Epcot morning, my friends. I do not recommend racing around trying to get these rides done first thing. In fact, as I was leaving, the line for Test Track looks like it's gone down considerably. Eric is already in that line. Unfortunately for Eric, they did just announce that it is delayed, just like they did for us. So, once again, Test Track having some issues. That seems to be a theme right now. I'm guessing that's going to get better as they continue to work out all the kinks. I would say Eric probably has at least 45 minutes, if not an hour, left to wait in line, especially considering that delay. But I think the real lesson of this is if you're coming in from the International Gateway, goodness gracious, if you go all the way up there to the front to World Discovery, do not hoof it all the way back to do Remy. This is not something I would recommend. But for the purposes of this challenge, that's what we're doing. That said, if you want to start your day at Guardians, it really doesn't seem like such a bad idea. I don't know that I would immediately go to Test Track right afterwards. I'd probably do some of those smaller attractions up there at the front and then wait for Test Track to kind of equalize a little bit later in the day. But yeah, starting with Guardians can definitely make sense, even from the International Gateway. What a delightful end to our early entry adventure. I love riding Remy. It's just such an adorable attraction. Unfortunately, Eric did not have such a delightful end to his early entry adventure. Test Track actually went down. He did not get to ride it. So we won by default, but honestly, I think even based on the time it took us to ride this attraction, I think we probably would have squeaked out ahead even if that hadn't gone down. With Test Track, I think it's better to let that line maybe go down a little bit, or better yet, if you have Lightning Lane, make that your first Lightning Lane of the day. Get that one done with a Lightning Lane so you don't have to worry so much about that standby queue getting out of control when it goes down. Not only can it go down when they're having glitches, it will also go down for weather. If there's lightning within a certain radius of Epcot, that ride's going down. Whereas attractions like Guardians and Remy here can stay open through weather. So something else to keep in mind when you're planning out your day, but I just don't think making Test Track your second ride makes sense unless you're able to get in that queue before the park is officially open, which that can happen when you come in from the front. It's much less likely to happen when you come in from the back. So I would say enjoy that early time doing all the other rides that are up there. Rides like Spaceship Earth, Mission Space, Living with the Land, Journey into Imagination with Figment. These are all attractions. No, they're not going to have the longest waits later in the day, but they're going to be walk-ons first thing in the morning. So you can just jump through all those attractions and really enjoy the front of the park rather than racing around and just trying to get these big ticket rides done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this early entry adventure, and if you did, you might want to head over to wherever you get your podcasts from and check out our brand new Ear Scouts podcast. And of course, you can help us out by giving this video a like, subscribing to our channel, and ringing that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting what we do here at Ear Scouts and making videos like this possible. If you'd like to get access to exclusive bonus content, including live tapings of our new podcast, head over to patreon.com/Ear Scouts. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.